Okay, so you're not the person charged with the crime?
I'm here to represent as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor, to take care or handle those affairs.
Okay, so
I understand.
The only way just
well, no, we're not going to play this. We're not going to play this. We're not going to play the game where you understand I'm the authorized representative.
Okay. Calling case number 23-01-420, David Cottrell.
Hello.
Good morning, Your Honor. Max Manugian appearing on behalf of David Cottrell.
Mr. Cottrell. Hello, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Mr. Cottrell, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep. I just want to clarify, Mr. Manugian, he is not appearing on my behalf. He is here to be relieved in this matter.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cottrell, you're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? I
can hear you much better now.
Okay, Mr. Manugian is not here on my behalf for representation for me. Mr. Manugian is the request was made in error. For the record, I believe the last time I spoke with this court, I made an incorrect assessment. And
it's fine. So you are Mr. Manugian. Do you have a request to withdraw from this case then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you object to that, sir? Mr. Cottrell, do you object to his request to withdraw then based on your representations?
No, I do not. I do not reject.
Mr. Manugian, you're all set. You're allowed to withdraw.
Mr. Manugian.
Mr. Cottrell, you have a question?
Oh yeah, I had a quick question for Mr. Manugian. I just wanted him to text me your address, Mr. Manugian. That'd be all for you. And thank you again, Mr. Manugian.
Mr. Manugian, you're under no obligation to text him your address.
Thank you, Judge.
I mean, not for. That's not okay.
He's not your attorney anymore, so I can't force him to do anything.
Well, no, not for purposes of my attorney purposes, for other purposes. For the record, I'm not discussing attorney issues. That's a request for a different issue, Your Honor. I apologize.
So if Mr. Manugian is not your attorney, is it your desire to have a different attorney, hire your own attorney, be your own attorney? What's your desire, Mr. Cottrell?
My desire for the record is I am impropria personam. I'm not a pro se litigant, or I'm impropria or pro per. That is my desire. Or I guess we'll call it self-representation.
You're going to have to put that mic back up closer.
Okay, can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay. I'm sorry.
For whatever reason, that mic is not picking you up real well. Okay, so all right, I'm going to make a note.
Your Honor.
Hang on one second. I'm going to make it.
I just want to make sure. Sound check. Is this better?
Much better.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So I'm indicating for the file that Mr. Manugian was allowed to withdraw. Okay. So I guess my question, since we have to clarify for the record, you are not asking for an assigned attorney anymore. There was a request for one. You've indicated that was a mistake. You are not asking for that anymore. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And that you're also indicating I should not expect to see any other attorney showing up on your behalf. You're not hiring somebody. The only person that's going to be here discussing this case that's been levied against you will be you.
The case levied against the what is the account or the transmitting utility with the name that's similar to mine. The name is similar to not my name, but the name on the account is similar to my appellation. I'm sorry. So let's clarify that for the record. So I'm going to say that one more time, Your Honor. Just to clarify that for the record. The charges are levied to the account with the same. It sounds like it's similar to my appellation. for the record. So if that's what you mean, then yes, I guess I can agree with that.
Okay.
But
So-
I'm not sure exactly what your intent is.
No, I
or
have,
what you-
sir,
what you meant.
we could just walk through this real simply. I have a case in on my docket today that has the name of David Cottrell. When it came for the time for that case to be called, I looked in my waiting room and I saw an individual that had in brackets David Cottrell. As is commonplace, when I see that, then I bring that person in. It's the time for that case to be called. I take a look at the file. In that file, 2301420, David Cottrell is charged with driving on an expired license and driving with expired plates. I have a copy of a proposed offer from the prosecutor. The prosecutor took a look at your file, has seen that David Cottrell got a valid license shortly after this incident. So they're recommending a dismissal of the driving while license expired in exchange for a plea of responsible to expired plates. The expired plates ticket is a civil infraction as opposed to the driving while license expired, which is a misdemeanor. The driving while the expired plates ticket carries with it no points and a $130 fine. That was the offer from the prosecutor today because David Cottrell took care of his license and now is no longer expired or invalid in any way, shape, or form with driving privileges. So the question I guess I have for you, sir, is there's an offer on the table. I'm not involved with the offer. I just have a copy of it. If you're not interested in that, sir, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me if you want to have a trial on this case. I am fine with that as well. But I just want to make sure that you understood that there was an offer out there. I think that would be, I think it would be wrong of the court to not inform you of that. And so that's basically all I'm doing today.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. So let me start from the top. I'm here on behalf to represent the named defendant. We just happen to have the same. It just so happens that my appellation and the name is similar. So
okay, so you're not the person charged with the crime?
I'm here to represent as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor, to take care or handle those affairs.
Okay, so
I understand.
The only way just
well, no, we're not going to play this. We're not going to play this. We're not going to play the game where you understand I'm the authorized representative for.
No, sir. This is the way that this is
Your
going
Honor.
down. One, I'm going to hit you on mute for just a second. We're not going to talk about things like playing games. This court does not play games. This court just simply laid that out. So I think it's, especially given the fact that the court has just simply set forth what I know. All right. To start off with the idea that the court is playing games, I think is disrespectful. And I think it's fair for me to express that to you. And so let's not go down that path. So I'm going to let you, sir, say what you need to say. And when you're done saying what you need to say, then the court will have to make a decision on what it does next. So whatever it is that you need to say, go ahead.
Okay, Your Honor, I do apologize for that. I would like to just take maybe 3 days to assess the offer that the plaintiff has submitted. Because also we have submitted information as well in regards to this matter that we would like the plaintiff to also take some time to look over and consider. So I think that's a fair trade.
What you have requested, time to consider options, perfectly reasonable. So I have no issue with that whatsoever. The only one concern that I have is you did submit something to the court that I certainly will want to make sure that the prosecutor is seen. There is
The who?
a,
I'm sorry. I'm
a
sorry, Your
red,
Honor.
what's that?
You said, I'm sorry, did you say the who?
The prosecutor, anything that's submitted
Or
to
the
the court,
plaintiff? Oh, you mean the plaintiff, Your Honor?
well, they go by prosecutor. In this
Oh,
particular
okay, so,
circumstance, you may describe them as something different, but
oh,
they
okay,
go by
okay.
prosecutor. By at
Gotcha.
least that's what they've requested.
Gotcha.
So when I'll give them a chance to review
Okay.
what you provided, because anything that's provided by either side, if the prosecutor provided me with something, you'd have to see it. All right.
Right.
So it works both ways.
Yes.
But
yes,
before
yes.
I share that with him, it's been,
Okay.
this document has been basically contained in a sort of plastic encasing, because we could not verify what this substance was that was on this document. Is this ink? Is this blood? What is this, sir? Do you know?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I guess we're having a misunderstanding. It was another document submitted today, about 10 o'clock, between 9:30. It was an affidavit, a notarized document.
I don't have that yet. If you've
Okay,
submitted
that's what I was referring. I'm sorry. That's what I was referring to, Your Honor. I apologize. Yep, there was another documentation that was submitted this morning to the court. I'm not sure if you have it already, but it was maybe an hour and a half ago. So I'm not sure.
something submitted within an hour of a court hearing, I'm not likely to have. That's
okay. Okay. I'm
processed.
sorry. Yep. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's what I was referring to, Your Honor. The plaintiff can, the plaintiff can take. We want to call it 7 days to look that over and see what they're going to do about it, and get back with us. I don't have any issues, coming back on Zoom and discussing that notarized affidavit issue at all. So just let me know how much. I would like the plaintiff to. I would like the plaintiff to submit how much time they need, because I got plenty of time. Your Honor, hello, Your Honor.
No, hold on. I have to endorse the file, sir. Hold on.
Oh, okay. And we can actually, and if trial is necessary, we can go to trial, because that's presumptive evidence that must be rebutted. So, I believe we do have options, Your Honor. But I would just like to give the plaintiff a chance to, establish or whatever they need to do on their end, because we did everything we need to do on our end. So we're just waiting for them to see what they're interested in doing, Your Honor.
Okay, so then I'll at least identify sort of where we stand at this point. There is not a resolution. The prosecutor, the person you described as plaintiff, the prosecutor has made an offer. You've asked for time to review their offer. You've also asked that the prosecutor, plaintiff as you describe them, you've also asked that the prosecutor review documents that you've turned in today, which the court hasn't even had a chance to see, which if I haven't seen it, that means probably Mr. Morad hasn't had a chance to see it. And so we all have action items, things that need to happen in the next 2 weeks. I can't set it for next week because next week is a Berkeley docket. This is a Royal Oak docket. So it'll be adjourned 2 weeks. Mr. Morad will provide you whatever Mr. Cottrell has presented to this court, and Mr. Cottrell has been made aware of your offer for a dismissal on the driving while license expired and a plea of responsible to the non-reportable civil infraction of expired plate. Once both sides have had a fair chance to offer, to review each other's positions, then we'll come back here. I do think there is a greater benefit in this circumstance to having this matter held in person. So I'm going to set this for an in-person hearing on this. That way, if there's new filings, new documents, I'd rather have them in hand in person, and we can evaluate these right away. So let's go with, today's the 26th. It would be November 9th. So November 9th.
Let me hold on 1 second, Your Honor. Let me check the November 9th is what? What date is that?
It's a Thursday, so it's 2 weeks from today.
Do you have a Tuesday or a Wednesday available?
So I can't do Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Those are
okay,
no-go days, because those are because there are certain days that we have the city prosecutor,
okay,
plaintiff, as you
okay,
described, I can do it on a Monday. If that would,
Thursday is fine. That Thursday, the November 9th.
so November 9th. Now,
Okay, that's fine. That's
it would
fine.
be set, it would be set at 11 a.m.
Oh, that's fine. Nope, that's fine.
Is that, because I can
Yeah.
set it, I can set it earlier in the morning, but 11 a.m. usually is the
latest.
lightest time of the
Okay.
docket.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So obviously you're here today, so you did receive notification appropriately, so that helps. I just want to make sure that we're sending notice to the right place so that you're aware of proceedings. I've informed you today of the date, and we actually talked about the schedule a little bit. So it's November 9th at 11 a.m. We're still going to send notice anyway. It's going to be in person. I will make sure that the prosecutor, if you drop something off at the court, I'll make sure the prosecutor sees it and reviews it. And I've let you know what they've presented, so you'll consider it over the next 2 weeks. And then we're all together in person on November 9th. We can, try to manage this issue together and see if there's a resolution. And if there is no resolution, that's fine. We could try it if we need to, but let's see if there's an opportunity for a resolution after you each have seen the positions of the other. All right.
Your Honor, I got one more thing, Your Honor. The account or the transmitting utility or whatever you want to call it, the defendant is on travel restrictions. I'm sorry. Are those restrictions? I'm sorry, lifted or? And also one more issue, Your Honor. The defendant, I'm not sure how you want to call it, but the defendant is owed, I believe, $1,000 for representation for showing up, or I'm not sure what the exact name it is on your end. The bond, I believe it's an appearance bond, and we are requesting that also on behalf of the defendant.
You're asking for your personal bond was set in this, so you did not have to post any money. No, there's no requirement.
It was the documentation that was received here at our offices was showing a $1,000 appearance bond, but I have to make sure I look that documentation up to be sure.
Yeah,
I believe that's
take a look at that documentation again, because it says a $1,000 personal recognizance bond. If you look when it says type of bond, if it says cash surety 10%, that means some money's been posted. There is no money that was posted in this file. There's no record of any money having been posted in this file. That's because the magistrate didn't require that there be any money presented. In addition, there are travel restrictions, but the only travel restrictions are that the defendant may travel for business purposes with proof of itinerary and or work schedule. So
I'm requesting all restrictions be lifted under no conditions at all for the defendant.
Well, so we keep running into this issue. We keep running into this issue, and you'll get concerned about, the court perhaps playing some type of game. But the reality is that these bond conditions were set on David Cottrell. All right, and you aren't willing right now to identify yourself as the same. You've indicated
objection, Your Honor. I'm not willing to written objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Cottrell.
I'm willing to identify myself as a natural living man who happens to be called.
So wait a second.
David Cottrell.
So wait a second.
I'm representing the defendant who has a name. Who knows? This is a coincidence. Has the name of David Cottrell, Your Honor.
So sir, the challenge is that the bond conditions were set on David Cottrell. You aren't willing to right now identify yourself as David Cottrell, which is fine. I'm not requiring you to do that today, but you also are saying you're representing that person. The challenge is anybody in this court, anybody who comes in this court representing somebody else has to be a lawyer. All right. And you haven't identified yourself as a lawyer yet. Okay. So before we get into all this, you're now making requests for David Cottrell, saying that you just so happen to be sharing or by coincidence the same name. So I'm not going to make any adjustments to this bond, which I think is appropriately set, because I don't have a proper request to change it before me. I don't have David Cottrell himself saying, Judge, I'm David Cottrell. I'd like you to adjust this. I don't have an attorney coming in saying, I represent David Cottrell. I have you saying, I just so happen to be representing David Cottrell. That's not something that affords me the opportunity to sort of follow standard procedure. And I'm not requiring you, sir, right now I'm not locking you in. I'm not saying that you, that you have to set aside, your personal feelings and principles. And I'm not saying anything about that right now, but what you're asking me to do, I can't do for you today. And so that's maybe something that we could take up again in 2 weeks. You take a look at what the prosecutor has, the plaintiff, however you want to describe it. You take a look at what they have to say. He's going to take a look at what you have to say. I'll consider further some of the documents that you've put together. My hope is that we can come up with a resolution, but I'm not making an adjustment today on anything because there are still things that I have to review. There are things that you have to review. There are things that the plaintiff prosecutor has to review. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. I just would like to say for the record, I would like to object. If you would like to have, if it pleases the court for me to have a name, I guess you can call me David Cottrell, Financial Services Corporation. So that's my name. My name is David Gabriel Cottrell, Financial Services Corporation.
Okay.
For the record, so that's my name, David Gabriel Cottrell, Financial Services Corporation. That is my name, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're done for today.
David Cottrell.
If I keep going down that rabbit hole, if you've identified that person as a corporation, under state of Michigan laws, a corporation must be represented by a lawyer.
Well, I'm sorry, not a trust. I'm sorry. David Gabriel Cottrell, Financial Services Trust.
Okay. Either way, we all have work to do on this. So I will set this out 2 weeks from now. I'm not making any adjustments to bond. I will take a look at those documents. Prosecutor will.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna make adjustments for the defendant, correct?
I'm not making any adjustments to the bond for David Cottrell, who was arraigned in this court. They are in place.
Your Honor, the reason why I requested that is because those conditions are very, very expensive. They could run almost into the billions and billions and billions of dollars. So we just want to make that clear for the record that those travel conditions or whatever you have are very expensive. They can run into the trillions. Who knows?
Okay.
So that's why we would like to notify the court and give you a prior notification of those astronomical expenses.
So it should be noted for the record that the individual here today has objected to the bond condition related to restrictions on travel. Not that the David Cottrell cannot travel. He just must provide notification in advance, and travel for business purposes is allowed. There has been some concern that this limited restriction on travel could result in millions, trillions, astronomical.
Right now, Your Honor, we're at $5 billion in expenses and fees. Just due to those travel restrictions. So we can't. What can we do? There's nothing. Our hands are tied. We're tied down.
That's tough. I mean, that's
tough.
That's tough. That's tough to hear. And I can only imagine. And I will continue to be mindful of those potential financial challenges. I'll look forward to seeing some sort of documentation of how those damages are computed, and maybe we can address this again at the next hearing. All right, which will be in person. All right, we'll see everybody back here in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Steinberg, are you ready to talk to your client?
Yes, please. Hold on.